Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come. Yeah, Friday. It is Friday. Welcome, everybody, to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had an absolutely amazing day yesterday as we are about to end our week, heading into the last week of August. Most kids, the school is back in session, the days are getting a bit shorter, and football's right around the corner. Well, depends on if you live in Cleveland. You don't really have football coming. I'm just kidding. It's probably not very nice. So glad you're all able to join us today. If you get a chance, do me a favor, click that little subscribe button down below so that you get the updates as these videos are released. If you're new to the channel, we look at the same 10 to 12 futures markets every day, identifying potential breakout trades as well as turning points. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So we've got a couple of trades on here that did meet entry, some that didn't meet entry, and one of the things I would like to comment on, though, is heading into the weekend, I have not been holding things over the weekend. It just hadn't been prudent, if you will, for me to hold things over the weekend. And we had yesterday, I talked about this kind of symmetrical triangle pattern, the little pinching that looked like it was occurring in the ES. And what happened is that we got a break one and a break two, right? It just popped right through. And so now this is not really, we didn't really get any strong movement one way or the other. And so now we're sitting at where the breakout to the downside is actually acting as resistance to the up. And so if we still use the same anchor point, I would be interested to see if now we start to just wedge in here throughout the day. I'm not saying that we will or we will not. I don't really have a great answer on either direction today. I'm actually, a day like today, I'm more apt to sit on my hands in this kind of a market condition, because that's what that false breakout gives me. In the NQ, for those of you that were in the live trading room yesterday, I know a number of you were in the live trading room, we had talked about a potential for a reversal back in this area if we came into it, a potential for a reversal. Now, if we didn't get the reversal, then we said, well, if we chop around inside the zone, then it might be a breakout either long or short. Well, notice what happened. We came into it and blew right through everything. Well, that means that none of the trades set up would be valid. And the reason that none of them would be valid was because it would only be valid for a breakout to the upside if we had based in there, meaning that we ate away more of those orders, but we didn't. And so since we did not, now we just essentially have that same sideways price action. I'm just kind of, once again, probably discretion is the better part of valor on some of those days where we've got, we still have an upward trend, trending back up to this potential, long breakout. But for the most part, there's no strong reversals in here that I'm in love with on the hourly chart. If I move to the 15-minute chart, you might get a little bite at the apple down in through here, this 7,400, if we come back into that range. You could even, if you want to, get short at this area right here, which was the origin of this strong move down. I really don't see myself doing that. I would want to stick to the higher probability 60-minute levels and don't really have one on here that I'm in love with. Crude oil. So in crude oil, we did have a breakout to the upside above this level here, but we had talked about how our breakout to the upside above this level here left a fairly weak reward to risk ratio if I use this down here as my stop. And so you certainly could still take it, but I said that was when we looked at it back here. However, since it would have now your last pivot would be right here, it sets up a pretty good reward to risk ratio, so it was worth taking the trade. So in this instance, you now have a breakout to the upside. It's now time to take your stop, move it up, and lock in some profits. If you choose not to hold it over the weekend, it's a good opportunity to get rid of your risk by taking your stop and moving it up underneath this fair price value area. That'll lock in some profit, which will at least cover your transaction cost. Now, if you missed the long opportunity, doesn't mean that you still don't have one, because I think that there's still, this was our first target, so some of you maybe took some money off the table on that for your first target. If you missed that long opportunity, you may have another chance at a retest at a reversal level right in through here. So look for that as a retest reversal. So that one worked out well. And when we're looking at some of these opportunities in gold, we have this breakdown level. Now, yesterday, I think in the video we talked about a potential for it to go to break down if it goes below here, but we had this area here that might stop it. So it was a lower probability setup. But notice we kind of hit this same breakout line, bounced right off of it, and now we're running straight up into what could become a reversal. So keep an eye on this one. It's only 2 points, right? It's only a 2-point level. So I'll be willing to take the risk on a little 2-point level. All right, let's take a look at our bonds and commodity or currency markets. So in the ZN, a level that yesterday we had talked about could be an area that slows the breakdown would be this little area here, but this could just be essentially a first profit target if you wanted to take it. We did finally get the breakdown out of this triangle pattern. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. Our second touch down measured move puts us right about here as the target. So if you got short on that one, it's maybe time to lock in a little bit of profits once again, knowing that we may not hold something over the weekend. The Aussie, we got a short on the Aussie, so that breakout did occur. Price has moved down a little bit from that region. However, now in the overnight hours we reversed and came screaming right back up. So that one you depending on how you manage the trade, you may or may not have taken your stop and moved it down to this opposing fair price value area, which is about where we slowed down or stopped. You might have gotten stopped out for a small loss or even moved your stop to break even. Everyone's going to be in a little bit of a different position there. But the breakout did get us a little bit of a move, about a 2-to-1 reward to risk on that one. So that one did give you a bit of a move. The euro, we haven't added anything to the euro as of yet. I had spoken about how this was a potential level, but frankly, I was just too chicken to put the trade on. And sometimes that'll happen. But this is that that setup that I talk a lot about, which is a little bit of fair price value basing above a pivot low or below a pivot high, right? One or the other. The Canadian dollar, we did have a little potential right in here where we bounced off of that level, came up through it, and then the next time through we just blew right through it, and now we're kind of a reversal. So this is going to kind of become a little pivot area, if you will, on the Canadian dollar. So let's see if we get another reversal to the next leg down in the Canadian. Last but certainly not least, Great British Pound and Japanese Yen. So on our British Pound trade, this is what I like to call nicked by a tick. We just a bit outside, right? Just barely missed on this opportunity. Did not get us filled on this position, which lowers the probability the next time around, but we'll still keep it in play because I think it could still be very valid. I'm just going to change it from a solid line to a dashed line. And so that one is now set. And then on the Japanese yen, we have, yesterday I had talked about a potential breakout below this area here. You do have to worry about this as a potential buying area, but price broke below that and now has continued its move to the southerly direction. You should definitely have taken your stop to move that, or have moved your stop to lock in some profits, or have already taken profits off the table in the Japanese yen. So overall, there were a couple of small losing positions in there, and then there were some decent little runners yesterday. And frankly, some trades that we've been waiting for a while to make entry. And the number one thing that I would say is the key is to have patience and to wait for the right setups when they come out. So we will be back Sunday for the weekend edition. And then if you've got any questions, please feel free to send me an email, chuck@iiefinancial.com. Until tomorrow, everybody. Talk to you soon.